Fox Sports 910, Benjamin Garcia doing the filling in duties today on The Drive. So many things to talk about today. We are just drinking out of a fire hose, as I have mentioned before on The Drive. You know, some things just get me so frustrated, and it is just crazy to me. Mike Sando released a quarterback tiers list, which is, again, just the epicenter of all things quarterback rankings. This is like the holy Bible when it comes to all things quarterback rankings. They're unbiased. It's all front office. It's all general managers. It's all the smart people ranking quarterbacks. And in this one, it kind of drives me a little insane. Mahomes clearly ranked number one. However, at this point, Joe Burrow is still ranked ahead of Josh Allen as the second best quarterback in the NFL. Listen, there is no debate when it comes to who's the best quarterback in the NFL. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's simply Patrick Mahomes. And if you have a different thought, no one will respect your quarterback opinion or your football opinions because it's just wrong. But listing Joe Burrow over Josh Allen is just nonsense. At one point, do we stop with the Josh Allen nonsense? Seriously, I don't get it. All we do is consistently tear down a dude that all he has done is win since he came into Buffalo. All he's done since he got his feet under him, since he fixed his mechanics, has only won in Buffalo. You just don't get it, right? It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any significance. You just got to be honest with yourself. People are just tearing the guy down for nothing. He was rated the most overrated player in the NFL amongst his peers. 103 people voted in this ESPN poll. The number one ranked most overrated player. And when it comes to Allen and Burrow, could someone give me a reason why Burrow's still better? I get it. He beat him in Buffalo a couple of years ago. Stephon Diggs was a mess. No running game. The offensive line was poor. The defense wasn't great. Joe Burrow walks into what was an away game for him. But still, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, a much better defense than Buffalo had. Allen is more, if we're just comparing the quarterbacks, more athletic, better arm, more agile, and has been severely under-supported since he has showed up to Buffalo. I mean, seriously, what are we doing? Below average to average offensive lines, defensive head coach. Joe Burrow is an offensive head coach, just so we're clear. No weapons outside of Stephon Diggs, who was literally invisible from week 10 on last season. And after 5.5 seasons, they finally got him a run game in James Cook. And not only do the front office people who voted on this quarterback tiers list have him behind Joe Burrow, I just mentioned a second ago, he was also voted by 103 NFL players, according to an ESPN poll, as the most overrated player in the NFL. If Josh Allen was on the free agency market, I promise you, every team in the NFL, outside of maybe 3, including the Chiefs, wouldn't do everything they could to get him out. Oh, and also, I hate to break it to you, when it comes to the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes thing, if you switch bodies, Allen would have 3 Super Bowls as well. Something tells me that the stability of the Chiefs and the coaching of Andy Reid, they wouldn't miss a beat. Now, it's not to take away from Patrick Mahomes. He is amazing and has clearly earned the number 1 spot. But I find it hard to believe that if you just switch those guys out, they don't automatically win 3 Super Bowls as well, or at minimum 2 of them. Listen, on that note, I love Joe Burrow. And he has absolutely earned a top 5 quarterback position, name recognition, ranking in the NFL. But come on now. The guy simply cannot stay healthy. And he is the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. If I'm not mistaken, Josh Allen is the 13th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. So not only does he have all the better attributes of Joe Burrow, but he also is not as greedy as Joe Burrow, which you can be greedy, make all the money you want, but I'm going to use it against you if your team doesn't succeed. And not only am I just buying Buffalo Bills stock that everyone is selling at an all-time low right now, they're going to win their division. I'm not as high on the Cincinnati Bengals. I mentioned this yesterday, and I know I'm on an island here. Brian Callahan might have been the straw that stirred that drink. He's over in Tennessee. Jamar Chase is still in contract disputes. He is showing up to practice late. He's showing up in street clothes. Zach Taylor is basically saying, yeah, we think he's going to show up, but we're not really sure for week 1. T. Higgins is unhappy, and that defense is not as good as it was in years past. Players have left. Lou Anarumo can only do so much as a defensive coordinator. Jesse Bates has been gone now for a while. So this idea that Joe Burrow and the Bengals are just going to pick up where they left off, it's just, I believe, insanity. I don't think they're going to win the division. That's going to go to the Baltimore Ravens. They might make the playoffs. They probably will, although it's a very competitive AFC North. But here's the elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about. Joe Burrow is one more major injury away from the Cincinnati Bengals wondering if they have to draft another quarterback. This is a guy that's missed significant time with a torn ACL. This is a guy that's missed significant time with the wrist injury last year. You have another injury. The games really start to pile up against Joe Burrow that he's missed. The guy's amazing. He's a top 5 quarterback, but he's got to get back on track this year. But I will ultimately always lean Allen over Burrow for all the reasons I listed before. The Bills will win their division this year, even though everyone is selling their stock, and the Bengals will not win their division. The Ravens will. And that's how I feel about the Josh Allen slander. It almost feels very similar to me to Kyler Murray slander at this point.